let me start with you with one of the newsmakers today, and that is Apollo Hospitals. Just wanted to have your take on this one, as the company announced to list their digital and pharmacy business in the next 18 to 21 months. And Neeraj, we have seen Apollo Hospitals taking some of those restructurings in the past 1 to 2 years to simplify their whole structure at play right now. And with this delisting, how do you see the value unlocking? Because Neeraj, this platform listing is one, but the other fact of the matter is that Apollo Hospitals, that could be one of the other listed entities, the discount that it used to trade with respect to some of the other pure play hospital chains, that will also get rewarded. Give us your sense on this news flow and what could it mean for the stock?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, actually, I have been positive on this, hospital and the, healthcare segment. And I think Apollo Hospitals has not given that kind of return which other hospital chains like a Fortis has given over the last, a few years. So I think there is a possibility that, you can get some improvement in the valuation, in the way the stock has been performing. And I think next 1 to 2 years, if you stay invested in Apollo Hospital, you should get a decent return from these levels. And of course, this value unlocking will also help, which has been long pending, and people have been expecting this. So this is also, it'll take some more time definitely to get the whole thing into place. This goes through a process, so that will take some time. But for long-term investor, definitely this should be a good bet to stay invested in.
Okay, so stay invested in Apollo Hospitals is the call coming in. Remember, we have some important news flow coming in from Apollo Hospitals, where they are going to be demerging their pharmacy and digital platform into a separately listed entity, and they plan to do this over the next 18 to 21 months. But Aditya, give us a chart check on Apollo Hospitals. And if you had to put your money on this entire hospital space, would Apollo be your top bet?
Oh, definitely, Sneha. I think I will extend hospitals and diagnostics both a bit. And within the hospital space, definitely Apollo Hospitals will be my top bet because I think it has a lot of catch up to do with Fortis, given the fact that it has underperformed a bit. And yesterday's cool off can be an opportunity to go long on the stock. If you get the stock somewhere around areas within 7,200 or 7,180 on the downside, it's a good opportunity to go long. Hold it for some positional kind of a target of 7,700 to about 8,000 on the upside. And I think Apollo Hospitals will definitely be top of the trading bet. Apart from that, a couple of stocks that also do pop out for me. One is Max Healthcare. This is one stock which has been on the tear from the previous month, and I think so it's again giving an excellent opportunity to go fresh long at current levels with a good support on the downside from close to about 1,200. You can look for a target of 1,500 on the upside. And apart from that, one more stock which definitely stands out for me is Narayana Hrudayalaya. Look at the way the stock has been going up time and again. It has been on a one-way rally. Yesterday's bit of a cool off 4% decline is an opportunity to go long on the stock. With a support somewhere around 2,100, I think this is an excellent buying opportunity here in Narayana Hrudayalaya for a target of at least 3,000 on the upside.
All right, so that's about Apollo Hospitals and select other counters as well within the healthcare space. Let's watch out for that. But indeed, today, Apollo Hospitals will be the key one to track with. But other than that, all eyes will be on auto sales as well, because this time around what we are expecting is kind of a mixed bag for the month of June, wherein the two-wheelers and the tractor segments, these two segments are expected to perform better in comparison to the passenger vehicle as well as commercial vehicle segment. Let's also tell you what on the number front that we are expecting. Firstly, from the passenger vehicle segment, not much of an expectation that is building in, because on a month-on-month basis, all the companies are expected to show a decline, and the biggest of all could be for M&M. But that will be interesting to see that whether or not M&M will manage to surprise us yet again on the numbers. On the commercial vehicle side, like we have been highlighting, it's been a subdued demand yet again for the month of June, and all across we are expecting a decline here too. But but two-wheelers could be the space to watch out for, not just for the commentary related to the rare earth magnet issue, but other than that, within the basket, TVS Motors and Eicher Motors, these could be the outperformers. All eyes on these counters as well, while for Hero MotoCorp 5.5 lakhs of unit is what we are expecting, and also from the tractor division a month-on-month jump, and rather a double-digit jump is what we are expecting on the back of a favorable base and a strong rural demand as well is what the dealers are indicating. So definitely today is going to be an action-packed day, and all these auto counters are will be in focus today. But Sharon, just wanted to have your take on two counters specifically. One of those is TVS Motors and the other one is Eicher Motors. How do you see these stocks placed on the charts?
So Shrishti, today's my topic was Eicher Motors, so I'll not get into it again, but it looks very good. Again, it held its own yesterday despite a dip in the Nifty. I think going ahead, it can also retest its all-time high. TVS Motor did an all-time high. Now again, giving a small correction. I think it's a good time to enter again. The stock looks very good. Have seen a good accumulation in the last 2-3 months. Again, it's trading above all its moving average, near all-time high. I think a new all-time high is also on the card if the numbers are expected as you are saying. So stock overall is very strong. If someone wants to enter, do enter with a very small stop loss around 50 to 70 odd rupees. I think the stock can see 3,000 to 3,100 in the coming 2-3 sessions after the number especially.
Okay, so that's the take on Eicher. Let's talk about another stock that's in focus today, and that's IREDA on the back of its Q1 update, the business update that the company has provided yesterday. Loans sanctioned are up 29% to 11,740 crores for the quarter. Loan disbursement is also up 31%, and the overall loan book value has also gone up by 27%. Neeraj, what's your take on IREDA and other power financing companies? What are you making of this space at the moment?
I think with the recent measures by RBI for project financing and with the liquidity infusion that RBI has done and interest rate cut, I think over the next 2 to 3 quarters you'll get the impact of all this coming into power financiers, companies like IREDA. I think they should benefit, and there should be increase in credit flow, which should happen. So I think credit demand should also pick up because of this. So I am positive on this space. I think next 2 to 3 quarters you should see the impact, and the stock prices should also reflect that in the next 1 year.
All right, so let's watch out for some of these insurance related counters. But in the news flow, we also have NCC, yet again order flow coming in for the company, where in the company received an order worth 1,690 crores. In June, the order is related to the building division, and these orders are received from the state government agencies and the private companies as well. Just wanted to have a chart check. Aditya, how do you see the stock placed? Because for the longest period of time, or rather I believe that was a 6-month chart, the stock is already down 30%. Is this stock ripe for an up move?
I think so, Shrishti. After a bit of a correction, in fact, massive correction, you can call it, from 360 odd levels to about 160. Stock has formed a decent base now, and it's now started to make higher highs, higher lows. And given the fact that we are listening to frequent order wins for the company, I think things are going good for the company. Going with its purely chart setup as well, I think so on the upside, stock can easily test levels of 252 to about 255 on the upside. On the downside, immediate supports are somewhere around 225 odd level. So with the stop loss just around 225, one can definitely look at going fresh long in the stock. If you're looking to add the stock in the portfolio, you can do that as well for a target of 250 to about 255 on the upside in the near term.
Okay, so that's the take on NCC. Sharon, what are you making of the entire PSU end of the banks? The PSU banks, they were the top sectoral gainer yesterday. We've seen a lot of sector churn when it comes to PSU banks as well. Do you believe the sector has what it takes now for a run-up, or do you believe it's just a few days of positivity that we're seeing on the charts?
No, for the PSU bank index, for the PSU bank index, definitely I expect it to outperform all sectors going ahead. And looking at the move yesterday, it has just confirmed my view. So I think a breakout about 7250 on the PSU bank index will actually take it to retest its all-time high. And in terms of stocks, again, despite big movements yesterday, I still feel Bank of Maharashtra, PNB, Union Bank, Indian Bank. These four banks are my top picks from the PSU bank sector. And especially SBI is also part of the PSU bank index. It holds around 49% weightage. So definitely some move you'll see there also. But apart from SBI, I think Bank of Maharashtra, PNB, Union Bank, Indian Bank, and Canara Bank, these five banks I think will outperform all the other banks in the coming 2 to 3 weeks at least. The sector is showing very strong movements, very strong accumulation in volumes also seen in the last 2 months. So overall, very, very strong sector, can retest its all-time high. And even if the trend continues, you can see a breakout about all-time high also.
All right. So that's about the PSU banking space. Well, of course, just yesterday we have seen these stocks doing very well for themselves, and even the large cap PSU banking counters from the likes of PNB, Canara Bank, these counters also participated. But Neeraj, just wanted to have your take on the IT, because just in the next couple of weeks we will be kickstarting the results season. The first of all will indeed be TCS. 10th of July is the date. What is that the markets are building in with respect to the IT majors this time around, from last quarter to this quarter? Do you see any change in sentiment, anything that incremental that you're picking up?
Yeah, actually, I think it's a wait and watch as far as IT is concerned. I think one should see how things pan out as far as US is concerned. So once you get a little more clarity what is happening, because still there's a fear of some slowdown happening. Tariff situation is still not that clear. You're reaching a stage where again the tariff talks have started. So if there's a slowdown which is happening because of that, in US later, it's still not so clear. So I think it's still wait and watch for IT. Let's see what the IT majors have to see. What they have to see post the results, and then we'll take a call from there.
Okay, so that's on IT, but Neeraj, what about the overall earnings expectations that you have from quarter one? Should we be heading in with muted expectations? Because that's what we did for the previous quarter and we were positively surprised. Do you believe that narrative could play once again for quarter one, or do you believe this could be largely muted?
I think so. I don't think, I think this quarter should again be muted, because there's not too much expectation from this quarter, June quarter, because first quarter is normally that great a quarter. Normally a lot of the, or the booking and everything is done in the last quarter or the last couple of quarters. So, first and second quarter is normally a little muted. So, but, let's see if we are able to beat this expectation, which is low right now, because there is definitely, some bunch up which would happen in March, but there was still a lot of companies which are saying that some of these bookings will be done in the first quarter because there was some delay in the pickup which happened in March. So that maybe some effect may come in the first quarter. But overall, I'm not expecting too much from this first quarter.
All right. Not too much when it comes to the IT majors that is expected when it comes to the earnings. But Neeraj, help us understand that which are your sectoral bets at this point in time, given the fact that Nifty 50 not that far from its all-time high, Nifty Bank, same case, that is panning out. But there's a lot of sector churning indeed that is at play. What's your view that with respect to the earnings, valuations, which sector can do well right now?
Yeah, I'm positive on PSU banks and NBFCs, some specific housing finance companies. I think these are the ones where you've seen some momentum also picking up. I think NBFCs should continue doing well. This quarter should also be decent for them. Even specific housing finance companies should do well. And then I'm positive on infrastructure. I'm positive on autos, but specifically something like two-wheelers or companies which are into tractor and farm equipment. There, I think some improvement should be visible. And besides that, FMCG is one space where I think because inflation is low, expectation of good monsoon would have also created some improvement in demand there. So it is early to say whether the demand improvement has happened or not, but we'll get some view post results from the companies also, and because of the results. So these are the sectors which I feel, and capital good is one space where you've seen improvement happening. You see the order flow improvement. Some execution pickup has also happened in project. So capital good is another sector I'll be watching for in the results.
Okay, why exactly would you be watching out for capital goods? I mean, any specific reason? Because government spending is yet to pick up, Neeraj.
See, government, yeah, hi Nikunj. Yeah, definitely government expenditure had come to a standstill earlier in the year, I think, but during March, there was a view that they had picked up and order flows also improved. Execution is improving because of liquidity improving. So I think that there should be some visible improvement which we could see in these results, though the full impact would not have come. But you'll get some improvement. Plus, the post-result conference call will also give a better view of what is there ahead of us. I think there should be improvement that should be there.
Neeraj, what do you like within the large cap space? In the Nifty 50 gambit, what looks interesting?
See, it's more again stock specific. I'm not looking at only large caps. I think it's more of a mid-small cap which should also do well. So I feel that if you look at companies like, for example, something like a Bajaj Auto, the large cap company, it's trading at below what long-term average valuation because of obvious reasons. The management commentary and the results have not been that great. But I think some visible pickup happening there can have a good impact on the share price of Bajaj Auto if you see some improvement happening there. So this is then other stocks that I'm looking in the large cap basket would be something like a DVs, which I've been positive on. I think they are showing improvement, and now the stock price is also reflecting that. So for a long-term investor, DVs lab would still be a good pick as pharma is concerned. And besides that, like I mentioned, capital good space is one space where I'm looking at the large cap names in capital good that I think should do well. And then I mentioned PSU banks. There also I'm positive on. I think though initially there is a NIM which may contract because of the interest rate cut, but then overall credit demand should pick up. So next 3 quarters, they can see that improvement happening in the credit demand.
Okay, so that's the take on what Neeraj is lacking at the moment. Aditya, give us your take on the entire metal pack that we have seen. Last 6 months, the metal index is up 9.3%. Surprising for something that has been so affected by everything that's been happening globally. But if you keep all of that aside and look at the index purely, do you believe the next 6 months could outperform the last 6 months that we've seen for metals?
Sneh, it's more of a stock-specific momentum and movement, I believe, which are going to continue to see in the metal space. Not the entire gamut of metals are going to go up. Specifically talking about, I think, Tata Steel is something which is looking interesting to me, and one can actually initiate fresh long positions in Tata Steel at current levels and maybe hold it for at least a month or so. Couple of months, if you hold, you're going to see levels of 175, 180 on the upside. Apart from that, I think Jindal Steel is also something which is looking interesting to me from the metal space. A matter of time before it breaks out of that hurdle of 980 on the upside. Once it does so, 1050 to about 1100 is something that we're going to witness. So for me, these are the top 2 bets within the metal space. Apart from that, nothing really that stands out for me. It's more of a pop on the upside, and then again you're going to see a consolidation. So nothing really to read into the metal space apart from these 2 stocks that we just spoke about.
Neeraj, in the light of the weakness in the dollar index, will this uptick in metal continue?
I think, definitely, there should be some improvement, which we're already seeing also. I am more positive on the non-ferrous space though, because, one definitely because of the global, demand supply scenario, and domestically also. Now, you see stocks like, just for example, Hindustan Copper has been announcing a lot of tie-up for exploration of, copper, critical minerals. I think non-ferrous spaces where I'm more positive on, and definitely globally, if something the dollar is is coming down, or even there's a talk about some interest rate cut happening sooner than what is expected from US. If all that has to play, I think metals is one space where you can see improvement happening in the next 2-3 months.
Okay. Real estate has been on some kind of a tear. DLF, Shobha, Brigade, Prestige, we've been speaking about these stocks. But one under-assuming sector of late really has been what is happening to cement. Neeraj, with so much of uptick in the economy, cement is one category where we've not seen any big price action. It is one sector where pricing power has also not made a comeback. Is the deck now getting ready for a comeback in cement in the second half of this year?
Yeah, actually, I'm also expecting the second half of the year should be better. Though right now, during this period when there's monsoon, little and less activity as far as construction is concerned because of the monsoon in various part of the country. You get opportunities to invest into cement space. So I think next couple of months, if you're getting that opportunity, I think that should make a base for the second half of the year. So actually, there has been a lot of demand. There has been a lot of supply which has come in the cement in the last, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So that has to be absorbed, and then only some pricing power will come back with cement companies. They've not been able to increase the prices as they would have liked to. So I think with the inflation down, the raw material pressure also down, and with pickup happening towards the second half of the year, I think you should use the opportunity between now and the next couple of months to accumulate the stock for the second half of the year.
All right, so accumulate, that's the call coming in when it comes to the cement counters. But Neeraj, with this, we'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for taking the time out today morning and speaking with us. But with this, viewers, let's also get you some of the mid-cap ideas from both of our experts. And Aditya, you go first. Tell us, within the mid-cap space, which is the stock making to your list?
So not specifically